Well, hello there, friends, and welcome to Virtual Strangers 74, Take Two. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Roots. Roots, we did it, man. We made it.
I didn't think I was gonna make it, dude. Like I've had so many issues. I've never had so many issues in one day, but it's all resolved. I had Wes there. He helped me figure it out, and it's all straight. I actually have had, dude, my mic, my for some reason when I moved over, all my settings on Go XLR disappeared. Like I didn't even know I was using it for 2 days. I'm like, why is my mic sound like shit to me? And then I went and I took pictures on my other. I booted up on my old drive and like everything was all messed up and I didn't even know. I don't know why it changed. I don't know, but it's all fixed now and everything's good.
Yeah, thank goodness, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we did it. Jim Hall said we did it for sure. It was definitely questionable to me whether it was going to happen, but it happened. And what the good news is, I'm already done with the other show, and we're going to do our show, and then we'll have the rest of the night to hang out and do some stuff, hanging out with Jim Hall, and we're going to do some VR as well. So
Yeah, man, the struggle is real, but at the end of every struggle comes the reward, right?
yeah, yeah, dude, talk about reward, man. You just sold your 1080 Ti, and you're going to be getting the 3080, you son of a bitch. I don't even know if I'm going to
Yeah,
be getting a
man.
3080.
I threw it up on Facebook for more than I probably should have, and didn't expect anyone to bite on it, and it was on there for like 2 days,
Dude,
and got $400 out of it. So
there's always somebody out there that has no idea. And for this person, they want it today. They got a hell of a deal. 2 months from now, they got fucked. But you know, today they're good. Actually, they didn't even really get screwed. I mean, that's a good card for $400, man. You can feel good about that for sure.
yeah, I was kind of feeling a little sketchy about it, but I talked to the guy. He knew about the new graphics cards. He wasn't a dope. He knew what was up. He just wanted one now. He's been rocking his 1070 forever, and
Mm,
he wanted an upgrade today. 500's out of his price range. So why
wow.
not take the FTW3? He said it's the one he's been looking for forever, and he
Oh,
hasn't been
so
able to get one.
it
So
works out for him. And see, now you kind of see the logic of what I've always said. Like sometimes it makes sense to trade that card in for because otherwise you don't end up doing the upgrade. You just don't.
yeah,
And man, and I'm a little jealous, man. You're gonna have the G2. You're gonna have the card to push it because that was the main thing we were just talking about earlier. Yeah, it's good to have a good, really good headset, but if you can't push what you want to push, you should be able to easily play everything. So that's good.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Now I do have a good 2 to 3 weeks ahead of me of no PCVR.
Mm.
So it's going to be strictly PlayStation VR and Oculus Quest. But you know what? I think I can manage on that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what I foresee is a couple of weeks we'll have some interesting Monday shows because sometimes you
That's
feel
for
like
sure.
yeah you feel like you're limiting yourself, but it's not. It what it does is it shifts us in a direction we never would have gone, and so now we get to figure out what that's going to be. So I'm kind of excited to see that as well.
Yeah, we got to change up tomorrow's Monday show even on the fly, huh?
Yeah, I was just thinking that, but man, I'm excited to see. Man, there's going to be something that's really good that you can play on those one of those two platforms that I can also do on PC that I've wanted to. It always works out. So,
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like you can backlog report it up. You can go ahead with
oh
what we were
yeah.
going to do, which was the Outer Wilds mod. I've already even got it installed on my
Ooh.
PC, modded up, ready to go, but I never cracked into it. I did get to jump into a couple of the Half-Life Alex mods. We can talk about those tomorrow. And you can pick something you want to play. I'll play something on one of my platforms, and we'll meet in the middle.
That's a good idea. I'll probably hold off on the Outer Wilds one because I want to talk about it when you've played it. So,
Well, there you go. That sounds like a
hmm.
good time for a backlog report. I might jump back in on Iron Man. It's been updated since I've played it, and then I've got stuff on my Quest that I haven't even cracked into yet. So who knows?
Yeah, the sky's the limit, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. Jim Hall says better get in early on the NVIDIA order day. I plan on it, Jim. It was kind of literally, I was this morning I was pretty sold that I was going to get a 570, and I was going to attempt to scrape up enough to get the 3070. I was trying to scrape up enough to get the 3080 on launch day because, like you're alluding to here, they're going to go quick. And my 1080 Ti, for example, launched at 700. It didn't stay at 700, right? It went up. So I'm going to get in there early as I can, and I'm running on Intel integrated graphics right now, so I'm not going to wait a minute longer than I have to.
Yeah, I'm not getting it on day one. It's gonna be too much of a hassle, too much money right off the bat. So, but I'll be slumming it with the 2080 for a little bit longer, but I'll be okay.
Well, the good news is that you have an RTX card. See, I didn't have one, and NVIDIA just announced this past week that their DLSS 2.0 is going to uh, it's going to support VR now. So it's not just a luxury for flat gamers. It means a lot more performance for anyone who has an RTX card. So it's kind of a big deal.
Oh, nice. Well, that's exciting, right? Now, I want to do two things. I want to, as Skiva was kind of telling me and Anthony, I want to tell everybody subscribe if you haven't already. He's saying do it at the beginning of the show, and we talked about this a long time ago, and we always forget. So subscribe if you already haven't. And then the second thing is give you a PSA to not use Vorpax with any online game that has potential cheat things, because Scion got banned from Sea of Thieves for using Vorpax on it, and I guess they don't like Vorpax, Wes. So don't use Vorpax.
He could probably explain himself, and they would probably allow him back in if he even cares enough to do that.
No, he's going to. Hopefully, I told him I'd buy the game for him if he can't get it, because I kind of got him into it. But he could play it in virtual desktop. That's what I do, with no 3D. But it looks really good, and there's no performance hit, so you can tweak the graphics really, really high, so it looks really amazing. But I just wanted to tell people that using Vorpax in any game that's competitive is probably going to get you banned. So, and we called Scion a dirty cheater, even though it's not really his fault. So
Probably just stabbed the wrong dude in the face, if I had to guess.
yeah, that's what I told him. Well, you shouldn't be stabbing people in the face, Scion. It's coming back at you, bro. Um, It was a permanent ban, so that's the thing. He may not get it back. I don't know. They said it was permanent ban Redbeard, but I'm like you. I think if he explains, hey, I was just trying to get it into virtual reality, I'll never do it again. I've only played 8 hours. It's not like it's a game that he was trying to be competitive with. On the account. So it was kind of a bummer.
Yeah, kind of a bummer, but I'm sure it'll all come out in the end.
Yeah, no, my thing is I just want people to, if you're going to use Vorpax, be careful on any game that is deemed competitive, because they may ban you if you get caught, or if they just notice that it's in there. So
Yeah, and it's probably even an automatic thing, right? Probably the server just detects it and auto bans.
yeah, yep. So
Anyway, not a lot of gaming news this week, Roots. I kind of had to work hard to put together a format for us here today. Everybody's still buzzing on all this hardware stuff, and rightfully so with all the new graphics cards coming out. The DLSS, that's the deep learning super sampling being picked up by VR titles. Now, that is that's not a catch-all for all VR titles. It does have to be supported by developers, so they have to patch their games for it. But it's easier than it was with the DLSS version 1, because that first version kind of had to be modified and tailored to each title. It's much more universal now, but it does have to be implemented by the developers. And another note with that, does not support Unity. It's only Unreal Engine right now.
Well, I think everybody's going to want to be jumping on the Unreal Engine, the new one anyway, right? Because it's so good. It's just going to become the new standard. So
Right. And then apparently it makes a pretty big deal too that have the it's AI upsampling is what it is. So let's say your machines are rendering out at 1080p, for example. This this is supposedly upscales it to 4K, and according to NVIDIA, which I don't know how true it is, they say it looks better than a pure render at 4K, which I don't know how that's possible, but that's what they're claiming.
Wow. Well, that's crazy. Well, that's exciting, right? The exciting times for sure.
Yeah, another of the next gen optimizations coming to life for VR. And the article I read about it, which was on Upload VR for anyone who wants to go read it, um, said that Facebook was working on similar technology for their standalone headsets that might not come out anytime soon, but they're working on it. And who knows? Facebook Connect's coming in 2 weeks. Highly speculated that they're going to drop the new Quest during Facebook Connect. So who knows? Maybe that'll have some machine learning ability as well.
Yeah, I'm excited. I was just talking to you about that earlier. Maybe I'll get the Quest 2. And I'll get
$300, man. That's the rumor. $300 to get into VR now. Isn't that crazy?
Wow. Yeah. Well, it's dropping the entry point, and the 400 is the what 156 or the 256, right?
256. Yeah, it's double the 500 gigabyte version is now. And by now, I mean a month ago, because apparently stores are now delisting the old Oculus Quest. My headset back here is about to become a collector's item, Roots.
Wow. That's crazy, man. It's so crazy how quickly things move. Just 6 months ago, people were like begging for the Quest, and now it's discontinued just about, right? They got the new one coming.
Yeah, B&H Photo Video, a fairly big online retailer. Actually, the retailer I bought my 8700K from was B&H. And yeah, they've delisted. There's another place in the UK, a fairly well-known chain in the UK, that have delisted theirs. And I got to imagine, as these stores go out of stock, that they're not going to get any more in. So if you're someone who wants one of the old Quests, if you're afraid that the new one might not have the IPD slider on it, now's the time to probably get one, because when they're gone, I mean, they could decrease in value, but they very well could increase in value, Roots.
Yeah, so they said about the Rift, original Rift. Isn't that crazy though that you could decide to make that decision? Like, this IPD slider is more important than a better processor, a clearer screen, better comfort, like all the shit that will be in there. Because like those things for me were like real problems. The
Yeah.
slider not so much, but then again, I've got normally spaced eyes, so and I say normal, yes, but yeah, not. It just feels
Yeah,
good.
I'm the same way. I never really understood the uh, the big deal about the IPD slider versus the digital adjustment. The digital adjustments always work for me, but then again, who knows? I mean, obviously, there's people out there that it just doesn't work for. So I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, right?
Yeah, it's true. It does make you wonder. Do you think it'll be digital this time again, like the Rift?
I do actually. Well, I don't know that there's the question. Well, here's the thing. I mean, obviously, there's not going to be a conventional IPD slider on it. We can see that with our eyes. There is that thing in between the eyes, so there might be some sort of adjustment. It might be that you're adjusting the eye cups with your hands.
Hmm.
Um, that might be one of the reasons why it's so affordable. But I do think that there's going to be some kind of an adjustment, only because of the Bloomberg leaks. The Bloomberg leaks accurately described a lot about it. They described the elastic headband, for example. They they nailed a few things that have already been confirmed, and one of the other things that they said about it was that it had an IPD adjuster. So I kind of expect it, but I don't think it's going to be a conventional IPT adjustment. I think it's going to be kind of a compromise. It'll move somewhat, probably a hybrid. Like the lenses move a little bit, and then part of it's digital.
That's just what Onakazi said. The new Quest will have both. They have that 3-position indicator.
Right.
So
Makes you wonder when you've got these mechanical things that, I mean, literally the speculation is that you're going to be grabbing the eye cups and moving them by hand, and then that slider's going to move to tell you what position you're in. It makes you wonder how long that's going to last, doesn't it?
yeah, it sounds like it'll break fairly quickly. I don't know, but I'm excited. I might have a Quest in the near future, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool. A lot of things, more and more things are becoming exclusive to Quest. Not just hand tracking, but just events. If you like, the digital social events, a lot of that stuff is exclusive to Quest. Venues, with the NBA games and God knows what else they're going to announce for it. It's becoming a more and more desirable platform, even if you are a graphics whore. I mean, if there's content you don't have access to, then if you're like me, you want to gain access, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I say fuck all those things. I just want to do this, but and they won't let me do it on the Rift. So
Well, that's true. I haven't even tried the hand tracking out on my Quest. It's been on there all this time. I downloaded the Elixir or whatever, and I've got the Curious Tale and some other stuff that uses it, but I've never been bothered enough to even try it.
how often do your kids use it? You said your son was all excited, right? Or was it your daughter? Somebody was excited about it when it first came out.
He was all hot and bothered about it for about 5 minutes, and now he's not even worried about it. I mean, we've been playing PlayStation VR is what we've been doing. Farpoint co-op.
Oh, nice. You got to get that in while you still can with the old one before the new one drops, right? Although
Dude, I can't wait till the new one drops so I can play it on the new one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful. That was what I was thinking the whole time when I was in Farpoint. We played a couple of times this week, and the whole time I'm just like, man, this place is so beautiful. Imagine what it's going to be like in 3 months,
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Les Marwick is a little perturbed that NVIDIA wants to know his age. Mandatory required to he wants an email notification of the release. Like, I guess, is it like something that like is not appropriate for younger audiences, or it's a little weird?
They just know that some 20-year-old kid's probably not going to have the scratch to throw down.
Yeah, or maybe they want to track it a little bit better so that you don't have a lot of people buying them all up single.
Yeah, it could be just a pure demographic thing to see who they're actually selling to.
Yeah. Zaylan Maru says it has a good point. It's not even the Oculus Quest anymore, man. It's the Facebook Quest. Man, that makes me almost hesitate to buy it. I'm still gonna do it, but just that name on it is like, ooh, wait, shit, maybe I shouldn't be getting this.
Well, I mean, we all know it's the Facebook Quest, and this one behind me is the Facebook Quest as well. But it's still going to be, they're not killing the Oculus brand. It's still going to be the Oculus Quest. The next Rift is still going to be the Oculus Rift. That brand still lives on. The only difference is that the vision of the corporate office is now Facebook Reality Labs, the whole thing. Oculus is a shelf brand now.
Yeah. Cool.
Anyway, amidst the myriad of hardware topics, I was able to scrape together a show here, Roots, and we actually do have some pretty decent looking games. But we're going to start off with some not so great news about a game that I'm really looking forward to, and that, of course, is a game called Swarm. And we talked about Swarm a while back. I don't know if you remember, but earlier this year, Green Sky Games announced this grapple-based shooter. It was originally intended to launch this summer, but the studio has now confirmed that the window has been pushed back to spring of next year. For those of you who don't remember, Swarm is an arena-scale first-person shooter. The arena is littered with small platforms to swing from, allowing players to quickly traverse levels, all the while unleashing attacks on enemies. Smaller opponents will group together, hence the name Swarm, helping to distract players from the bigger boss-like foes which stalk the arenas. So do you remember Swarm Roots? We talked about it not that long ago.
I do actually. I like that. I remember the video, and I can hear people already saying, "Oh man, look at that shaded graphics, dude. This is gonna be it's gonna be shit." And I was just talking to Anthony and Skiva about how telling them neither one of them have tried Jupiter yet, and I was just telling them how cool it is, and Anthony said he liked the style of this type of shaded style, and I do too. I think it looks really good, especially in VR. So
Yeah, just playing Jupiter makes me all the more excited to play Swarm because it's that same kind of locomotion style. It looks almost identical, actually, but it's a completely different type of game. And someone, the Jupiter dev came into our Discord the other day. And by the way, you're all invited to join our Discord. The invite's in the description below. But the Jupiter dev came into our Discord to thank us, thank our community, and someone suggested to them that they add in a time trial as a way to add replayability to the game. And I was thinking, you know what, it would be great if they had co-op, if they had maybe some enemies and some weapons. And then I thought, wait a minute, I'm not going to suggest that. I'm not going to turn these guys' game into Winlands. But then I turned around and looked, and we have Swarm coming. So it turns out I don't need to anyway.
yeah, that's exactly it. Instead of doing what you're doing, which is more of a puzzle platformer, this is your shooting, right?
Yeah.
I just think it looks really cool. And I mean, I guess if we have to wait until spring to get the proper release of it, it'll be worth it. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks like it has Jupiter locomotion, but you're also going to have a range of weaponry from dual wielding pistols to rocket launchers and guns which fire bolts of electricity. A real, I mean, it looks like they take a lot of familiar aspects to craft a very unique game, if that makes sense. Uh, we've seen shooters before with interesting weapons. We've seen grapple based games. We've seen platform based games. We've seen cell shaded artwork before, but we haven't ever seen it come together quite like this. And there aren't a whole lot of these types of games that take this idea of swarming smaller enemies to kind of distract you from the big badass. I mean, Farpoint kind of does it on the ground a little bit. I guess Evasion kind of does it like that, but not a whole lot of games that take this approach to FPS.
I think it looks really good, and the best part. Somebody said it in the comments last week, and I agree. One of the best parts of Jupiter is the locomotion, the movement, and now you've got that movement plus you get to shoot shit. Everybody loves shooting stuff, especially in VR, right? And I think the art style looks amazing, and just the city looks cool. So it'll be cool to check it out. We just got to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, no, not much longer at all. Anyway, this one coming to us in Swarm. We do have a quote from the developer Green Sky Games. They said, Swarm has been content complete for a few months now, and we have hundreds of playtesters. The response to our grapple mechanics and gameplay have been incredible, but we are not happy with some of the compromises that we had to make. For that reason, we decided to move our launch date and to go all out to extend playtime and build the game that we dreamt of with no compromises. So it looks like they're taking a different approach here than most developers. Most developers have these big ideas. They realize during development that that they're not quite going to be able to live up to it, so they temper their expectations and release a lesser game than what they wanted to. These guys are saying, no way. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to take a few more months here and get it right. And I commend them for them. And I actually sent them a message telling them what we always say here on the show, that I'd much rather wait on a game than wait on a patch, right?
Yeah. Yeah. People get salty when patches are involved, especially when it comes to index not working, like with Jupiter, although they fixed it quick. So I'd rather wait for sure. Absolutely. And I think it'll be worth the wait.
Yeah, I think so too. This looks like a really good game. Looks like it's coming to Quest, Rift S, maybe even I think Steam as well, actually. So coming to PCVR and Oculus Quest. Oddly, PSVR left out of the equation there, but you know what? If they want to play, they can come on over to the dark side, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Well, and I kind of get it. Like, not everybody wants to be in the middle of, you know, console release, everything changing, right? Like,
Plus, I mean, at the current moment, I mean, this looks like 360 action, doesn't it? This does not look like something you can sit down and play.
no, no, looks like this is one of those games when I go to play, I decide kind of like Jupiter Grot or anything like Windlands 2, where you're like, okay, I'd love to sit, but there's no way. I have to stand because I'm going to be moving and swinging and shooting and spinning and doing all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, you got
So
to move quick, or else you're going to get lit up in an environment like that. It looks like chaos.
yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, not that long to wait. Spring's going to be here before we know it. So much stuff happening between now and then. I mean, this game's just going to be the icing on the cake, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just so much coming together, man. Like between all the
Everything, dude.
hardware and all
All
the
the games,
software.
all the hardware.
Yep, absolutely. Perfect storm.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
A perfect storm.
Yeah, it seems like it, doesn't it? I mean, uh, we have all the games. We have new headsets on PC. We've got new consoles coming out. We've got new standalone headsets, and we've got new graphics cards, and even the features on the graphics cards, the VRSS, the DLSS, everything's getting a Gen 2. The NVINC encoding roots, even
Mm,
getting a new generation. I might even have to start doing gameplays again.
that's yeah, nice. Well, everything is it's just on a next level for everything. That's just crazy.
Yep. Yeah, it makes me curious too because some rumors I read about the Windows Mixed Reality for Steam VR platform getting upgraded. Looks like they're preparing for new headsets, and I don't think it's just going to be the Reverb G2 roots. I think there's more WMR coming. In fact, if you remember late last year, Samsung leaked pictures out. Remember the one that looked kind of like a fly, or some people said it looked like a big butt?
Yeah.
Uh, that everybody just kind of forgot about that. The next Samsung Odyssey, but that thing's coming too, and it could drop anytime from out of nowhere.
Wow. Be a good time to be rich. I need more money.
Yeah. Thankfully, I've been selling everything I own and saving up for 2 years. So most I don't think I'm out of the woods yet. I think that at the moment that I spend my last dollar, I think Sony's going to announce PSVR 2, and it launches next month.
Mm,
And I'm going to be broke, Roots.
yeah. Well, you'll find a way. You'll sell your Quest or you know something.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the prospect. If Oculus, tempts me with their OC7, I may end up having to put the old Quest up for sale. But I don't foresee that happening. I don't think that they're going to have enough. But then again, I kind of get this feeling like they've got something up their sleeve at the same time. So they may pull something out that none of us are even expecting, and I might be putting my Oculus Quest up a little quicker than I thought.
Now would be the time, Wes. I told you this last week about the 1080 Ti, and you were like, "Oh yeah, shit, man, I might as well try." Maybe you sell your Quest, and then you can get your Quest too.
Yeah, you never know, man. I didn't think I was going to sell my 1080 Ti. I just put it up as just kind of a, maybe I put my Rift S up and I didn't think I was going to sell it, and I got every penny I wanted for it. So
Yeah,
did the same thing, and this sold a lot faster than even that did. So
yeah. And when you do get your upgraded card, it's gonna be brand new. It's fresh. It's gonna be the next step up, and you're future proofing for a year or two, maybe. So
yeah, got a freshie,
yeah,
Roots. Getting a
freshie.
freshie.
Yeah, everybody loves freshies, especially when it's connected to a freshie headset as well.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts. Roy Schwartz asked, is a 3082 slot worth three? It is a two slot card. Thankfully, uh, I just took my capture card out and it was resting right up against my graphics card. Like I couldn't fit both of them in there if
Mm.
I had a 3-slot card. So thankfully, this 3080 is going to be a 2-slot card. The 3090, however, is going to be this brick 3-slot card.
Yeah. Well, I hope Radio Runt has room for it in his computer. That's all I gotta
he,
say.
he doesn't need a computer. He's toughing it outside these days.
Oh yeah, he's glamping. I forgot.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. We did get a new game announcement this week, Roots, and I'm talking about NYX. It seems like the new zombie wave shooter, Roots, is Cyberpunk because, man, they just keep coming, don't they? The Cyberpunk games.
Yeah, well, it's just like everything else, and we said this a year ago. They pick a genre, and it just everybody wants to put it out, and then you see a little bit of it for like a year or two, and then all of a sudden everybody's game comes out at the same time. It's one after the other, and we'll get to a point where we want no more Cyberpunk. When does 2077 drop? Pretty soon, right? Everybody's been waiting that after the flat game, but still.
That's dropping with the consoles about
Nice.
mid-November.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. As long as it's good, I don't care. I mean, I like the cyberpunk feel, and it looks good, right?
Yeah, there's not enough of this in VR. I mean, we've got Technolust, which was awesome for the time, but I mean, since then, nothing, right? And now we've got what, like 5 or 6 games on the way. So
Yeah.
this one's in the distant future, though. This is from developer Exocubic Games, and this one's a little different, Roots, because this is a Cyberpunk VR MMORPG, and apparently this is a real MMORPG, Roots. So it's not like the other action-based games that we've been sold by these developers.
No, I want a full MMORPG where you can go into that world, like World of Warcraft, where you fly from one fly point to the next, and it takes you 15 minutes. The world's so huge, right? But or longer sometimes. But
Yes, I was reading about one of these that we had already reported on, and somebody who had experience with it had said that it was pretty much Warcraft in VR. And I don't remember, maybe it was Elysia or Zenith. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but I thought of you as soon as I read it. I was like, oh shit, when Roots gets his hands on this one.
Oh yeah, if I could be a true healer in an MMORPG in VR, I'm never coming out. I got to keep people alive, Wes. It's my goal.
Well, this one, NYX, looks a little more my speed. The backstory goes, it's 2055. A contaminated spacecraft exploded in the atmosphere, completely changing life on Earth. Fast forward 30 years, NYX is set in 2085, with humanity now residing in 12 colonies filled with crime and polluted air, all controlled by massive corporations. Roots, this game is slated to feature procedurally generated quests, special occasion quests, as well as main story quests. And in some of these, players will also have the chance to change the outcome. There's going to be 4 classes of players to select when the game launches, from a swordsman to a rogue. And the gameplay is said to be physics oriented, with the studio taking inspiration from games like Boneworks and Half-Life Alyx. So a lot to like here, man. I like the cyberpunk motif. I like the future dystopian story. They do seem to be borrowing an awful lot from lo-fi, but that said, the gameplay seems like it could be a little bit more varied and nuanced than lo-fi, with the with the written levels as well as procedurally generated ones.
Yeah, well, definitely looks amazing. I like the artwork. It kind of looks kind of like a mix, just a weird, like, not Lego, but like kind of a Lego-esque look, a little bit different. But this is my thing, and it may not include it, but if it's gonna be a real MMO RPG, it needs to have a healing class. Like it's not just all about damage. Anybody can do damage. Just go and smash shit. You know, you need a tank, you need a healer, and you need DPS. And hopefully that will be a part of this, but it may be a different type of MMO, I guess. You know?
Yeah, it's certainly not going to be your standard fantasy style MMO.
Yeah. Well, it's a different type of fantasy. That's fine too. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And you said you wanted a large map. It says here that multiple city levels mean that there will be plenty of places to explore, either solo or with friends. And as far as this art style, they say that this does not represent the final look of NYX. This is a very, very early render.
Oh, really? Okay, so it's going to change a bit. Mepper wants to know why all Cyberpunk has to have dreary, rainy weather.
Well, this one specifically, I mean, the thing said that something exploded in the atmosphere and it kind of screwed things up. But I get what you're saying. It's always raining, right? It's nighttime and raining. It's like these people don't even have a sun anymore.
Yeah, maybe they won't. Maybe they're trying to tell us something, Wes, about something coming in the future. But yeah, I agree. In this reality, it is rainy. It's nasty. It's dreary. Probably don't want to be outside. Who knows what's raining on you, right? Chemical wise.
Yeah, man. And nobody's wearing masks either.
Yeah, well, that's a good part of the society.
Well, that guy was. So
Yeah.
I guess maybe they are.
Yeah.
No, it kind of reminds me, just looking at the art style and the way it looks, it reminds me of the Tower 2, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, the Tower 2 was pretty cool, but this looks like it's got way more action.
Yeah, like light years more.
Yeah.
There's been mention of a planned Kickstarter campaign, although it is unclear when that will be. So this is not a soon game or a game that's coming soon. This is down for a late 2022 launch.
Oh shit.
Roots.
Well, what if Cyberpunk
supporting
what if it's
supporting
played out
Oculus Quest, PSVR, and PCVR.
Yeah, that's a long ways away, man. But I mean, every game. That's what's funny is that people say that, but how many games do we find out about that have been been being made for 5-6 years, and we just hear about them because they're about to come out, right? So takes time.
Think about this, Rich. So by this time, we'll be waiting for the 4000 series cards to launch, and we will have had these new cards for a couple of years. We'll probably have 4K ultra wide display headsets, right? Like Pimax will be ruling the world at this time, and what if they were to come out with a game that looks like this? Then could you imagine?
Yeah, it's gonna be a little outdated, and don't forget your Elon Musk chip that we'll all have in our brain by then as well. We probably won't even have headsets. Just have it beamed directly in there.
Right. I think that's the next gen after that. I think that we'll get a good proper decade of VR before we get to that.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be a while, right?
Yeah, it'll be a hybrid things at first. Like it'll be more of a supplemental thing, kind of like replacing your haptic suit, right? You can feel sensations, and then you'll still wear your headset or whatever, but the chip helps you feel things and helps you hear things. Imagine you're playing a Spider-Man game and you have like an actual Spidey sense because of the chip, telling you the enemies are about to strike.
That'd be crazy. What if you were just walking down the street, not even in VR, and all of a sudden your Spidey sense started going off, and what the hell is going on? Oh,
yeah. Crazy. Could you imagine the possibilities, the impossibilities?
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, NYX again down for a late 22 launch, supporting all major VR platforms. Kickstarter coming up at some point, probably next year. Exocubic Games, keep an eye out for it. I think it looks pretty cool, Roots.
Yeah, me too.
Now, this next game I want to talk about is actually one that I've had my eye on for a while, Roots, because this is one of those success stories. Cubism is one of those games that started off on the SideQuest store, but now has been raised up out of the dirt by the benevolent people at Oculus and been giving the approval to sell their game on the Oculus Quest store. And I actually think they're bringing it to Rift as well now.
Oh wow. Well, see, that makes a difference. I was gonna say, what's the difference? I could get it on side quest before. Now I can buy it in the store. But now if it's coming to Rift, then I actually do get a chance. Yeah, right there, Rift S and Valve as well. Cool. So what's the premise behind this? You just put like Tetris in a box, or?
It's something to that effect, I think. This is, of course, a puzzle game. But the side quest version was a much shorter version than what they're about to release.
Oh, okay.
I had a few levels. It was more like a demo length thing. But the interesting thing about that is that the side quest version uses hand tracking, while the Oculus Quest version is not going to have hand tracking at launch. It's something that they're going to add in later.
Oh, that's weird. Well, I don't even care until they tell me about when Rift S is getting. I want to do this. I actually really don't care, because without the haptics, it's weird. I don't know if I would want to play the game with just my hands. I want to feel some kind of feedback. I want to have a rumble, like I just solved the puzzle and my things buzz or something, some kind of, you did it, you know. With your hands, you don't get jack, you know. So
yeah, well, I mean, it's obviously it's going to vary from title to title, but for the most part, I agree with you. I think we need our hands don't have enough variability uh, to be able to navigate the complex games that we play. So we need controllers, and I'm okay with that. I don't mind. I like using controllers. So
yeah, me too.
anyway, the Belgium-based developer behind the title, Thomas van Boel, is releasing the full game with 60 puzzles of varying difficulty. It's easy to learn, and within the first 10 to 30 seconds of launching the game, players learn the core mechanics and are solving their first puzzle. We got a quote here. It says, "Side Quest helped me realize the game had an audience on Quest, which encouraged me to submit the Quest pitch document to Oculus in early January. More than anything, Side Quest was an essential avenue for me to playtest the game and its puzzles during the last year of development. With Oculus's announcement of new distribution paths to Quest in the future, I think that they have definitely realized the value of giving developers easier access to the Quest community to prove out early concepts and to play test and refine games in the earlier stages of development." So I think, you were asking me recently what the role of side quests was going to be after Oculus kind of releases their version. And I think we're looking at it right here. This guy released a short demo version of his game, took the feedback that he got from the people of the side quest community, and ended up developing his game into something that can be released on the Oculus platform proper. So I think that that's going to continue to be a vital role that SideQuest provides, not only to developers but to players as well.
Oh, well, maybe the developers of To the Top can learn from this, and they can make their game viable. Oh wait, it already is viable. It was ready on day one. But no, that's cool. That's really cool. I like the for them to have some kind of avenue, right? To get their feet wet, put out a little demo, say, hey, this is my what I've got going on, and not only are you beta testing, but you're also able to gauge how much interest there is. And if there's a lot of interest, that you say, shit, I might as well submit it to Oculus, and now this game is now going to come out for everybody. So I don't know. It looks like
and it's funny that you say that too, because that literally was the first thing I thought of when I read this article. I was like, what about To the Top, man? This thing gets to be on the store, but To the Top doesn't. I mean, what the hell is going on?
It's just weird, because like the story that they're telling, that you're telling there, is the path to success. If you just plug away, you can do it. Well, unless you're To the Top or a few of the other games that for whatever reason, I think probably must have rubbed the wrong person the wrong way. I mean, Facebook is a big company. You pissed somebody off and they just said, you know what? I don't care how good your game is. It is not coming on our store. Fuck you, you know? And that's another reason why SideQuest is good, because there's always going to be those people that have a good game that politics or whatever the reason is gets in the way, and that gives the devs another avenue to potentially still put their game out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're right. I think there's more to the story when it comes to the top. Probably somebody's girlfriend involved, if I had to imagine.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not your fault, Jarillo, about I think you're talking about Scion getting his account banned. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, nobody
Let's
knew.
see here.
Nobody knew about Vorpex, you know. So
Yeah, I don't know if it's what they're talking about or not, to be quite honest.
yeah, maybe not, but still. And then if you're not talking about that, Jarillo, it's your fault. You did it.
Phil Yorn says, I've really never tried Helix. What do you need? $5. That's pretty much it, man. You need $5 to buy the Helix Vision app from Steam, and it's simple to use and is a lot easier to use than even Vorpex.
I warned you though, Wes, you're gonna run into issues when you get your new card, only because it's not the 3D whatever driver isn't supported past the 1080, and so like there's just certain things that you can't. It just creates another issue that they've been working around trying to make it work, but it's just not the same as the other cards.
So we have to find a way to mod those drivers and put the 3D vision in there.
Yeah, somehow. Well, I mean, people have done it. Like, they have a way to where you can download the driver for, like, that for when you're playing, and then it shuts it off or something. But I don't know. It's weird.
I'll tell you what I can do. I know exactly what I'm going to do. My son is asking for a gaming computer for Christmas, and I'm probably going to end up buying him a 10 series card to put in that. So we'll just use that.
Yeah, true. Very true.
So
it works.
Yeah. We'll just go in his room and play the Helix Vision, right?
What if he says no, Dad? I'm sorry, I can't.
You don't know my boy. He's a happy gamer.
That's good.
Anyway, Cubism set to launch on September 17th for $10. Oculus Quest, Oculus Rift, and Steam VR. It will not launch with controller-free hand tracking support initially, so track controllers only for launch, but an improved version of hand tracking input is planned for a future release along with other updates. Interesting though, Roots, still no mention of the hand tracking support for Oculus Rift, but you know what? I think it's coming. Because I think Facebook Horizon is coming, and I think that it's going to be something that they're going to integrate into that, and I think they're going to want to bring everyone along, including the Rift players. So
yeah, and they're clearly not giving up on the Rift line, so they might as well just give us the hand tracking, get everyone off their back, and then we'll be happy.
Absolutely, yeah, I think it's coming. I just think it's a matter of time.
Cool, so I get to do this soon.
Yeah, or you do this Facebook.
Yeah, I want to do that too. I didn't have the guts to do it to the audience though, like you just did. You were just like,
It's California howdy, Roots.
That's right.
Anyway, let's talk about Deemo Reborn, Roots. This game was previously released on the PlayStation platform, now available on Steam. Deemo Reborn's PC launch was only confirmed a couple of weeks ago, but the developer didn't really make any confirmation nor announcement regarding its VR support on Steam. The game offers optional VR for PlayStation VR and the PlayStation 4. Today, however, we can see on the Steam page that it is indeed supporting Oculus Rift. This, of course, is a remake of Rayark's classic game Deemo, featuring a fully 3D immersive journey that is said to, quote, intoxicate you with the elegant sounds produced by you on the piano. Roots, this is a rhythm adventure title. Which centers around an ancient castle and a mysterious tree that grows when the melody is in the air. This came out oh, early this year, late last year on PlayStation with PSVR support. Not a lot of people covered it. The ones that did seemed to like it pretty well. But apparently, this is an older game. And, just hearing that it was a rhythm game, I just dismissed it out of hand. You've never heard me talk about this game before, just because it was a rhythm game. And a lot of times I just don't talk about rhythm games. But, last week we reported on that Ionia, Rhythm of the Universe, Ionia. And that showed me that these musical adventure games have a lot of potential. I mean, I think that game looks phenomenal. So I decided, since Deemo's coming to PC, that we would take a little bit of a look at it this week. And what do you think, Roots? What do you think about this rhythm adventure game?
Yeah, it looks different. I mean, not only this trailer, but the second video here. It just looks. I mean, I guess is this hand tracking as well? I mean, it looks like you could do hand tracking, right?
You would think so, but this is a PC game only. This is not a Quest game.
Okay. Well, I mean, no, I mean, it definitely looks different. I mean, especially if you're like, your jam is playing the piano, maybe you would resonate more with this. And the fact that it's involved with an adventure, I mean, most of the rhythm games are, you're just exactly that. There's no adventure, no story. At best, you get a campaign. So I think it'll be different. And I think you're right. I think we've kind of, anything that doesn't fit the normal mold as far as rhythm games or whatever genre it is, sometimes you can shut yourself off to something that can be unique and really cool. And which I guess you said a lot of people on the PlayStation VR or in that crowd that did play it did really resonate well with this.
Not a lot of people played it that I saw, but the ones that did really liked it. I know PSVR Without Parole gave it a really good review. They said it was great. But of course, Brian Paul is a kind of a retro gamer. He kind of likes these old games. He probably played it before, all truth be told.
Yeah, and that's when you said that's exactly what I was thinking about. Like if it was PlayStation VR Without Parole, then obviously it's I just respect their judgment on almost every game that they talk about. So yeah, it looks cool.
Looks kind of like a Rock Band Guitar Hero style gameplay, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just looks different, man. It looks like it could be really fun, and maybe it's combined with not only hitting the buttons, but you actually have to physically have your hands in the spots there as well,
Right.
So yeah, cool.
Anyway, you control a little girl who has fallen from the sky, and now you have to help her find her way home. The game features over 60 tracks with rhythm-based gameplay that simulates playing the piano. Roots, this was $40 on PlayStation,
Wow.
25 on Steam.
Oh wow, I see. 25 sounds more reasonable. $40. Maybe that didn't sell very well. Maybe that's why not many people talked about it. You know?
Yeah, and then you have of course, the Sony tax. The games always cost a little bit more there, but it's normally just like $5, 10 at the most. 15's kind of an oddity.
Yeah. No, it looks cool. It looks like it really would be a good game for hand tracking, right? Ironically.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like you're right that this is actually kind of a perfect fit for Oculus hand tracking. Maybe that. I mean, the thing only mentions Rift support, so maybe that's why it's only Rift support. Maybe they're already working on that. It just hasn't announced the launch yet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I guess with the hand tracking, even without haptics, with the right game or experience, it could be, game changing. So,
Yeah, Onakazi says it has the Japanese VR dev tax. I guess that's true, man. All those Japanese games, like Tokyo Chronos and the Lost Labyrinth and Spice and Wolf VR, they're all $40. Every one of them.
that's because people that are fans of that genre will pay it. You know what I mean? If you're a fan of anime or anything of that nature and it's even remotely good, you're going to get it.
What's
So,
that? Hatsuki Miku? What's that other one called?
uh,
Hatsune Miku?
it sounds like something I can't pronounce.
Sounds like something with a little girl in a short skirt, doesn't it?
Yeah, or maybe something that I eat that gives me heartburn or something. Yeah, I don't know.
You ate some bad Miku.
Yeah, it was real spicy.
On Steam, you can also choose to purchase the complete edition, which includes the base game as well as three, quote, Prime packs and the original soundtrack Volume 1. Each Prime pack contains additional songs
Mhm.
and charts. So apparently, these things must get challenging at some point. What I'm looking at here doesn't look very challenging, but they must come fairly quickly at the further you progress. And I mean, it's to the point that they're selling DLC packs with songs, so there must be some kind of challenge to it, right?
Well, at least they have that for DLC. And let me ask you this: have you ever bought a game and you're like, "Oh, thank God, I want to get this more expensive game because I want the soundtrack." Like every time I see that, I think, what, why? Like, I don't know. Is there somebody out there really that's their draw? Because, like, even if the game had really good music, I'm not buying the soundtrack, or that's not why I'm buying the package. It's bizarre to me. Maybe I'm wrong,
Yeah,
but
it blows my mind. I just saw on Twitter the other day that the Moss soundtrack just got a release on vinyl. Like people are like buying vinyl of the Moss soundtrack.
not that good, bro. I mean, it's good, but I mean,
It's my jam, bro. What are you talking
yeah,
about?
you just listening to Moss,
Yeah.
on vinyl.
Who needs to, you know what, Roots? If I wanted to listen to Moss, you know what I would do?
Hmm.
I would just load Moss and like chill in the forest. Who wants to sit in your room and listen to Moss? Why don't you go to the Enchanted Forest or the swamp or go hang out with that giant toad?
Yeah. Yeah, you could
You
spend
know?
some quality time in there. Who else likes to spend some quality time with the giant toad? My mom.
That's what I heard. You
Yeah.
know.
Who doesn't though in
Uh
2020 these days, right?
yeah, I know, right? I mean, yeah, I guess I got you. Anyway, Roots, you know, it wasn't long ago that Star Wars Squadrons was announced, and everybody's been on the edge of their seats, foaming at the mouth ever since. But whenever that happened, you know, my mind kind of went, uh, and kind of my heart kind of went out to the developer of Project Stardust. I wonder what was going to happen to this guy because, for those of you who don't know, Project Stardust is an excellent fan made and free Star Wars VR game. And up until now, it's pretty much been the best uh, of this type of Star Wars game that we have in VR. Um, it was originally conceived as a student project for the University of Utah exploring motion sickness in VR. But ever since then, it's grown into a bigger project with a three-stage recreation of Death Star battle from A New Hope already in place. So, like anybody who wants to play this kind of cock pace, you know who else is a cock pace, Roots?
My mom.
uh, any, uh, anytime anyone's thought of these cockpit-based Star Wars games in VR, if you're like me, the Death Star trench run has been the kind of the one thing that you really want. It's the thing you want to do. That and the speeder bikes on indoor. Those are like the two things that you want to do. Well, this gives you one of those absolutely free, and not that many people have played it. Roots, I haven't ever played Project Stardust. Have you?
No, I have not. And now I got a conundrum ahead of me, Wes, because like in October 2nd, man, we're less than a month away. I got the real Star Wars coming out. Do I even bother going to check this out, even though it's free? Granted, it's I guess, a good teaser until October. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's one of those things that's been great that it's been there, and who knows how good it's been for this guy. But I would imagine once it drops, the real Star Wars one, this one kind of fades. Aside from people that maybe don't have the money to buy the game, right? So
Yeah, well, here's the thing, right? Well, I think it'll still have a draw just because of what I just said. That new Star Wars game isn't going to let you do this iconic scene
mhm.
from the movie the way that this one does. Uh, but the interesting thing is, Roots, is that you said it. The new Star Wars game comes out in October. We just got word that this fan made game is getting a huge update in November, which is going to add a new mode and a new map to the game.
Hmm.
Also, he's working on a virtual HOTUS as well.
Oh, wow. Cool. Well, if that's a virtual HOTUS. Now, you don't have a real virtual HOTUS in the Star Wars one, or we don't. I don't know if we do or not, right?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I'll tell you what, man. Like, my eyes were open. I can't remember which racing game. Maybe it was Dash Dash, or there's a couple of them where the virtual wheel felt really good. Now, aside from holding out the whole time, responded super, like almost better than a regular steering wheel, but would be on your dash, right? So, I mean, I would imagine using that virtual HOTUS, which they've got the same thing in No Man's Sky, right? It would feel good. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, this is absolutely free. It's high quality according to everyone I've talked to that's played it. So I went ahead and downloaded it and installed it yesterday, Roots, because something like this, I mean, it's just amazing to me that this is even allowed to be a thing now. I mean, this guy is blatantly recreating a scene from Star Wars and distributing it to people, and they're just letting them do it.
Yes, I don't know. I think if you don't charge, they run into issues with it's when you try to sell it that they can jump in and say, whoa, this is copyrighted. But I think if you don't charge for it, it creates a different like way they can do it. I don't know. I don't know how that all
I
works.
mean, just look at this thing, man. Wouldn't you think that they would at least give this dude a job working on the new game?
Yeah, you would think so, right? Now, what was it? Paul Bellino says he played it, but he thought the trench part was the weakest part of the game. Did not love it. Now, that being said, Chris Richardson also said he played it back in the day, an earlier version, and it looked nothing like this. So it could be that it's a lot better now than when Paul played it.
Yeah,
So.
it has had a couple of updates. You know, you see it on Twitter occasionally. The guy announces when he puts out new updates for it, and it's been fairly well supported over the last year.
Yeah. Well, Scion says that the No Man's Sky virtual stick stinks. And I say, how dare you, Scion?
How dare you?
How dare
Better
you?
watch out, man. You can get banned around here saying stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Especially from the person that's cheating and getting banned off of the Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, we don't allow cheaters in our chat, Scion.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, it says here you start off in a dogfight with TIE fighters before moving to the surface of the Death Star to take our guns, and then, of course, tackle the iconic trench run. The survival update will now let players jump into the cockpit of an X-Wing and face off with hordes of enemy TIE fighters. So basically, it looks like he's putting in a mode of what the new game does.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? So then this is still free, right? I mean, it'll still be free.
I downloaded it last night.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna have to check it out now. You can't play it though. You're gonna have to wait a couple weeks to check it out.
Yeah, I just wanted to get it before it was not a thing anymore. Like I waited too long with PT and then had to end up, finding someone to share it with me before I could play it.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to wait too long with this one.
That is real. Get it while it's there, because that kind of stuff disappears.
You know what's weird, Roots? Like I stand a real chance of not being able to play The Walking Dead Onslaught when it launches.
Wow.
I mean, it's real. I mean, that could happen. That could be a thing. I'm sitting here waiting on a graphics card.
No, what you do, and this is against Anthony's ethics, and he'll say it's karma will come back to get you.
I already know what you're going to say.
Go down to Best Buy, you pick up a couple $100 card, you use it for a week, and then you return it, and get your money back and slap it into the new one, and good to go.
They let you return graphics cards.
Oh, dude,
PC
I do it all
components?
the time. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much the only thing. There's a couple things they won't return, but any hardware like that, absolutely. And I don't know, man. I use Best Buy. I get all my stuff from them because they're so easy to return stuff. No questions asked. And I usually don't. But you know, if I have an issue, I can run right back down there, swap it out, and boom, you're good to go.
I'll tell you what, man, if it comes down to it and I'm sitting here staring at this game,
That's what you're
there's
doing.
Rick and there's Daryl and
Yeah.
you know, what am I going to do? What else am I going to do, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's, you know, I mean, for the audience, it's worth it, you know.
Yeah, for
So,
those guys.
yeah,
Totally.
only for them though.
You know what I'm going to try? I'm going to try to run Moose Life on my integrated graphics. That they run some games on this 8700K. Actually the suite that installs when you switch to it has like a list of supported games, and it's not like totally old stuff. There's some fairly recent games that'll run through the integrated graphics. So I'm thinking maybe something like Moose Life that I enjoy playing anyway. I mean, Onikazi's threatening my top 10 spot, Roots. Did you know that?
No, I did not. He's, oh my God, Onikazi, how dare you? And he's the last person that commented in the us top chat. That might not even be live chat. I might be literally lying right now. Oh no, Spry guy jumped in there. You could buy a used, yeah, buy a used 1080 Ti.
You know what? You guys laugh, but that's probably going to happen. I'm probably going to buy a used 1080 Ti
200
for
bucks.
my son's computer. But it's going
Yeah.
to be 2 months from now, and I'm going to pay about half of what I just sold mine for.
Yeah, it won't be the FTW3 though, but it'll still be for your son. That's going to be a smoking card though,
Yeah,
right?
I'm definitely he'll get something equivalent or better to that. I assure you.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Chris Richardson's downloading Stardust again right now, so we did our job. We let the audience know, and now we can go to bed and have peace tonight.
Well, let's not do that quite yet, Roots, because we still need to talk a little bit about gnomes and goblins. And we talked a little bit about this, I think last week. Was it last week we talked about this?
Yeah, it's actually came up a couple weeks in a row. I know last week we went a little bit in depth, and it actually came up in Discord again for some reason this week. A lot of people interested in this game or experience, myself included. And I think it was around the fact that you could get the old demo on Viveport or something still, or I thought that's what it
Well,
was.
here's the thing, Roots. I looked into that, and you cannot get the old demo on Viport. You can get the new demo on Viport.
Oh, oh wow. I was upset for a second there. Have you tried? Well, you probably haven't tried it either, but
I haven't tried it yet, but I was going to get to all this stuff in free stuff and killer deals, but I'll go ahead and just break it all down for you right now. That Venice festival is going on for a little while longer in Viveport. Those titles are in there, and there's something like 20 to 30 titles that are in there. A few of them are demos, but most of them are full-length titles, and it's not infinity. It's like the Museum of Other Reality was before. You put it in your shopping cart and check out with it. So this is stuff that you're going to get to keep. And there's
oh,
a lot of stuff in there, Roots. A lot of good stuff. Some of this stuff I saw at the Moore during that last exhibit, like the one I keep telling you about, Gravity. That's on there, and you can get it for free on Viport right now.
well, I need to do that today, right? Onikazi said he tried to overtake you before the show and did not succeed. Well, you got 2 weeks,
Yeah,
Onikazi. He may not be able to get back into it for a couple weeks. You got a good window right here.
yeah. I tried to. Last time I went in, I saw that I had slid from 8th down to the 10 spot, and I decided to go into pure mode to see if I could push myself up a couple more spots. And I just wasn't, it had been a few days since I played. I wasn't feeling it. I kept dying early on, and I knew I had literally no shot at making it. So after about 5 or 6 bad starts, I said, you know what, screw pure mode. I'm going to switch back over to the normal mode. So I switched over to normal mode, started at level 1, even though I didn't have to. I could have continued, but I started at level 1 and played through all 50 levels, Roots, and beat it.
Wow, that's good, dude. I think
Took took a while.
well, I did something similar when I played it. I made it through like the first time 30 some levels, no problem. Now, granted, I was in the you can't die mode, but it was cool. Now when I did put it in the actual mode where you die, I didn't think it made it to 10 or something, but 50, that's crazy. And you said it's just as good as Polybius. Maybe not as good, but very, very close, right? As far as
It's got a lot of Polybius style craziness in it, especially after you get to about level 30. There are areas in the game that are fast, like Polybius. There's the time manipulation, like Polybius, the trippy weirdness, the way they layer in new characters and stuff. It's not on Polybius's level. It's not, but it's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be, and it's an absolute great must-own title. $7, man, it just blows my mind.
yeah, $7, dude. It's a good game.
So he says he's only plays in pure and 13s as far as he's gotten. I think I made it. I made it to like. I made it to like the mid 20s. I think 26, 27, something like that. When I set my spot on the leaderboard.
I just can't believe it. Just do pure, man. Go pure level 50, win it. That's what you need to do.
Well, I mean that's all I got now. I've already went from level 1 all the way through the whole thing in normal mode. So all there is left to do is chase leaderboards now. So
yeah, cool.
I won't be surprised either if that thing actually does run. I mean, it's not even like 500 megabytes. It's a fairly basic thing. So it might actually run.
What about in VR though? Might be more
Yeah, that's what I'm
taxing.
saying. I'm going to try to run it in VR. I'm going to try it.
Yeah, it might be
I
a
think
little bit more.
I think the one thing that might give me a hiccup is that I don't have a legit VR headset. It's this Quest Link, which is a little more demanding. So I think that might be what hooks me up. I don't know if the onboard graphics will be able to encode the stream. I think it would be able to render the game. I don't think it was going to be able to stream it to the headset though.
Yeah, well, I guess you'll find out, right? I mean, you should try Nog too. There's nothing going on in there. All that 3D.
There's some graphics going on in that
smoke.
one though.
Yeah, a lot of that 3D probably make it smoke. That 3D
Good
actually
stuff.
makes a big difference, man. Especially when it's really popping. That's what's really straining those cards. So
Scion says, when's Goose Life coming out? That game's already out, dude. It's called that Goose Game. Look it up.
is it really that Goose Game?
Yep.
Oh, I've been
It's
my
a
whole life.
fairly recent release, actually.
Yeah, that water looks good.
Anyway, Gnomes and Goblins. Obviously, 2016's Gnomes and Goblins preview offered a teasing taste of an idea being dreamt up by virtual reality studio Wes VR and filmmaker Jon Favreau. Now, 4 years later, the project is almost ready for launch with a September date confirmed. Of course, this is set in an enchanted forest. You will be able to meet its inhabitants, making friends with the goblins and becoming part of their society. A narrative driven experience, you'll be able to explore the fantastical world, collect and craft items, and play mini games, all the while developing a relationship with the little green characters. Roots, September 23rd, Gnomes and Goblins, finally, after all this time, arrives on Steam, Oculus, and Viveport platforms for PCVR headsets.
Ah, 2.5 weeks. Do I even bother getting the demo? I mean, I blink and 2.5 weeks go by and I'm playing the actual experience, right?
Well, the interesting thing is, there's a couple interesting things. First of all, they have not listed a price for it yet. So who knows how much this thing is going to cost coming from this big time Hollywood director, right?
Yeah, that's not a good sign, Wes, because usually you want people to know what your cost is.
And to be honest, I expect this thing to be more than the short experiences that we're used to. I think this is going to be about as close to a full-fledged VR game as you can get without being a game,
Yeah, I want a full-fledged cartoon, like a movie, like a experience movie that's 2 hours long, that you're working your way through or whatever. So
yeah, well, no, I think this is going to be more like a game than a movie. Honestly, I think it's going to be heavily narrative based and driven, but it's fully interactive and uh, it allows you to go at your own pace. Like you can hang out in this village and just live if you want to.
Yeah, just chill out, just sit down, and just like Anthony did in what was that game? He just watch the sunset or whatever.
Zing, zing.
Zing, yeah, just chill out and watch the sunset in the forest. Sounds good.
Yeah. Anyway, of course, as we mentioned before, if you want to get an early look, there is a 20-minute portion of Gnomes and Goblins available during Venice VR Expanded, which has begun this week on Viveport. Now, here's the other kicker, Roots. Recommended specs have also been unveiled, revealing a decent PC is needed to run the experience. I've got the recommended specs here, Roots. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, actually, couldn't believe it when I saw the specs.
All right, so the processor they're recommending is the i7 9700K or equivalent. They recommend that you have 32 gigabytes of RAM. They recommend that you have a GeForce GTX 2080 or equivalent and at least 35 gigabytes of available hard drive space. Now, Roots, if this turns out to be a 45-minute interactive movie, I'm going to be pissed because I just upgraded my graphics card just so I could play this damn thing.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Well, think about this, Wes. It's not going to be 45 minutes because they're releasing 20 minutes of it for free as a demo. You know what I mean? That to me that's a good sign. That tells me it's probably going to be a couple hours. And
yeah, at least.
But man, I was blown away because I was like, at first I looked, because I'm one of those people that I'm telling people 16 gigs is borderline anymore, and it doesn't. People don't admit it, but we are at that edge. 8 is not, I don't believe, enough. I mean, you can get by on most everything, but we're on such the edge where it's going to become an issue. Now they're saying 32 for this game, and not only that, but a 2080, which I got, and the 9700, which I don't. Like, I got to go out and buy a new processor for this, Wes, and a new motherboard. And I mean, I know I don't have to, but that's just crazy that that's their recommended specs. That's pretty high.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts, isn't it? Apparently, the people at WeVR not the biggest optimizers.
They must not be. I mean, and that's great. I mean, eventually they'll optimize it or whatever, but it tells you where we're at. I mean, I just feel like we're at a place where you should just maybe upgrade your RAM. If you only have 8 gigs, go to 16. Just give yourself a little bit of room. I noticed it was, granted, it was Fallout 4 VR, but I was using almost all of my 16 gigs when I was playing it, and it made me think, okay, fuck, I'm hitting the wall. I'm right at that wall, and I don't want to get something where all of a sudden my performance drops because it's pulling out off of other resources because my RAM is maxed, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, that's luckily the RAM upgrade is actually one of the things I already had scheduled. Like I decided a long time ago that I'm just waiting on the right kit to go on sale, and I'm going to get a 32 kit to put. You can get a good 32 kit now for $100.
Yeah, it's not expensive, and I've had no issues. I mean, I've even got 48 because I got 32 and I kept my other 16. So I don't know, man. It's not that expensive. It's super cheap now for RAM.
So do you have?
It's all the
do
same.
you have Do you have two 16s and two 8s in your motherboard?
I believe that's what I have.
And it works well for you like that?
Yeah, see, and I looked on it. I researched it. I looked to see if it was going to be an issue. And some people were saying, oh, yeah, it's going to come. But they basically what I found was more people saying that, it's just not an issue anymore. That if it's similar or the same, because it's the exact same brand, that you're going to have the two running off of one, the other two run off the other. And I've had no issues, so.
Yeah, Les Marwick says, la, 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 la.
Oh. I didn't, yeah, well, that's true. It does kind of look like the Smurfs, right? A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. How cool would that be, by the way? Smurfs VR.
I think it would be cool.
Can you imagine Gargamel coming in all giant and shit?
I think they could do it right, because how many shitty Smurf games did we put up with back in the day? You know what I mean? Like when you had the ET on Atari and stuff, like really bad versions of games. So
Yeah, Meow Meow the Gamer Cat says, wonder if this could come to PS5. I don't know if PS5 could run this, bro.
yeah, no, yeah, that's right. The specs are a little bit low on the PS5 somehow.
Yeah. No, that was a joke, but these are some high specs, man. I mean, it's kind of crazy for what it is.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think I'll be able to run it. I think with I've got an 8700K instead of a 9700K, but besides that, I'm gonna have this covered. So
Are you gonna try playing this with your integrated graphics?
not even no. I
Yeah.
don't want to break my processor. It's gonna catch on fire.
Yeah. You don't want to do that.
Nope. But anyway, not long to wait. September 23rd, I should actually be getting my, assuming everything goes smoothly, I should have my card by then. We all should have our cards. I got to imagine that a significant portion of the viewers here are going to upgrade in a couple of weeks when I do. So,
I think I'm
um,
gonna do what who was it? Somebody said if you wait 6 months, you can end up getting a 3080 Ti for the same price
yeah,
or something. That's probably what I'm gonna do. Just because I've
that's
already got
true.
the RTX. You know what I mean?
That's
So
true. And that's actually what I was planning on doing until I had this guy actually buy my card for a pretty fair price. So
yeah,
I don't think I'd be able to sell my card for that a month from now, let alone 6.
no,
So
absolutely not.
I'll just be happy with my 3080.
Yeah, yeah, no, I would be for sure.
Yep. But anyway, just a couple of weeks, man. What a rest of the year. I keep saying it. It just blows my mind. All the stuff that's coming, all the stuff that keeps dropping. I mean, what a month we're gonna have with The Walking Dead and this and the friggin' cards and just everything, dude. It's a great time.
Yeah, that's crazy. And F Franks has a good point and asks, "Is the are those specs higher than Flight Sim Microsoft?" I think it is
Well,
actually.
the thing about micro, yeah, I think that they're higher than the recommended spec for sure. But the thing about Microsoft Flight Sim is it's got a wide range of settings, and Flight Sim only really gets demanding if you make it get demanding, if that makes any sense. They spec that thing so that it's still relevant years from now. That's what they've done,
Yeah.
and so and when I say years from now, it looks like sooner than I thought. Right? I'm curious to see how it handles how a 3080 handles it. Is a 3080 going to be enough to max it, or do you have to get the big daddy that's the brick, the BF GPU?
It's probably not going to be enough to max it because I thought the same thing about like 2080 with 4K and that type of stuff, and then you get it and you realize, okay, it's like you're still having to lower certain things to get the frame rates type of thing, you know. So
Right. Well, we're going to find out firsthand, Roots, because I was actually going to skip Flight Sim. I didn't think I had any hope of running it on that new headset with my 1080 Ti. I thought it would be like crap performance and not worth my money to buy that. You know what I mean?
mhm.
But
Yeah,
now I think I might try to run it. You can get it on Game Pass, right?
yeah, $1 for the first month, $5 for each additional. So
There you go. We're going to give it a shot. We're gonna put it through the paces, and I'm going to let you know just how far you can push it.
yeah, all right. So and have you Traveling Man 3775 wants to know if we know any news on Panther stealth game release for the Quest. I haven't heard
No, it's
anything.
I haven't heard anything on that, but if it's coming to Quest, it's not coming anytime soon. That thing just hit early access on PC like last month, maybe the month before, and it's still they're still making leaps and bounds progress on Panther. Panther very far from a finished product on PC, so I wouldn't be holding my breath waiting on a Quest version anytime soon.
Yeah.
But it looks cool though, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know if you've seen anything that they've been doing with it lately, uh, but it looks way better than it did like when they were leading up to their Kickstarter.
I have not actually. I'd be kind of interested to see what it looks like now.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll do an update on it here pretty soon. It's available on Steam now.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that works.
Unless I'm badly mistaken, I think you can get it on Steam now. You know what? Why don't we find out? Because that's going to bring us into our next segment, which is Wishlist, where we ask you all to help support the developers. And it does help support the developers by going and wishlisting a game. It helps to raise the profile of their game on the platform that you decide to use. It also helps them to register your interest in their game. And I've heard it firsthand from more than one developer. It's a big deal. There's a reason they always ask people to wish list their game, and that's because it's a big deal. So we're going to do that right now, live in real time, and we're going to ask you all to do it with us. Let's go wish list something that we talked about today, or maybe something else that's been on your mind.
I just did Deemo. Deemo.
Every time I hear Deemo, I think of BMO on Adventure Time. You know, the little Game Boy character.
Yeah, that was a weird show.
BMO.
Real bizarre show.
Anyway, we're going to search here and see if Panther is available. And there it is, $20, Ruuts, Panther VR.
What's the reviews on it? There are a lot of
Mixed.
good reviews. Mixed.
Mixed reviews. Wolf Dog Interactive. It says, before you buy, thanks for checking out our game. So yeah, they're just basically, this is a very early access stage, which is what I was just saying. It's such an early access game that they've put a big notice on here to make sure everyone knows before they put their money down that this game is nowhere near complete.
Yeah, people will still bitch and say it's not complete.
Right. Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, you know what, Ruuts? I'm going to wish list it.
Yeah.
And because it looks cool.
Yeah, it could be the game of the year when it's finished, maybe.
Yeah, 2022, it'll be going up against NYX.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, done. You know what else? I didn't put it in here, but while I'm thinking about it, Green Hell, a game that's on my wish list, it's on sale, 25% off. A game with future VR support coming. It's that one that kind of looked like The Forest.
Oh yeah,
so anyone out there,
that one that was we were like, whoa, this looks just like The Forest. Chris Richardson wants to know if a Vive only game will play on the Quest, and what I've found, I'm assuming you're talking to Xfinity. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Like some of the games that say Vive only literally will not run on your they will not start. They just will not start, and I don't know what they're doing to keep them from starting, but it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's a trial and error thing, Chris. I've had mixed results with it. Sometimes you'll try one of these titles that doesn't say that it supports Rift specifically, but it boots up and runs fine. But then there are other times like Blasters of the Universe or Don't Knock Twice. These titles did not boot for me when I tried. So it's very much a title by title thing. You just pretty much have to try it out and see. And it's free stuff anyway, so.
Yeah, and if you have Infinity and you haven't played Jupiter Grod, what is wrong with you? That game does feel good. I like it.
Absolutely. And by the way, Index users, the Steam version has been updated of Jupiter Grod to support Valve Index. That update has not been pushed through the Viveport platform yet, but it is coming this week. So just watch. You can always see when the most recent update hits on each game. So just keep your eye on Jupiter Grod. Sometime this week, Index support's going to be added in, and you guys are going to be able to play.
Yeah, you'll be swinging around. You can be Russian cosmonaut with the best of them. Yep. The game's cool.
Absolutely. For Frank says, according to the update page, there's only been one update, and that was in June. He's talking about Panther. The things that I'm talking about, Frank, might not have got pushed through to the public build. I'm talking about stuff I'm seeing on Reddit, on Discord, on Twitter, clips. I don't know that it's actually gone through to the actual public build. The things I'm referring to are stuff that's coming directly from the developer. So,
cool.
Hope that clears that up for you. But Onakazi says he just picked up Evil to God on Steam and will jump in after the show. Dude, it's awesome. You're going to love it.
Yeah. I was having a lot of fun with the just the locomotion, man. Just even going back and forth between the two. It just somebody said last week how good it feels, and I'm really seeing it so far. So,
Chris Richardson said he didn't know it was on Infinity. What you want to do, Chris? Every time you go into Infinity, of course, click on Games. On the left-hand side, you'll see a bracket that says Price. You'll click on Infinity, which will narrow it down to just Infinity titles. And then after you do that, there's a drop-down menu that it'll say Featured on it. But if you click on that Featured, you can switch it to say Latest Update Date. And if you sort them by the latest update date, it'll put all of the new titles that are new to Infinity toward the top of the list. So you'll always know what's new. Or you can just watch the show every week and we just kind of tell everybody.
yeah, that's true.
Anyway, that brings us to free stuff and killer deals. And it's a new month, Roots. So we've got new titles with PlayStation Plus, flat games, of course, as usual. But decent ones, Roots. Street Fighter 5 and PUBG.
Oh, wow.
Part of the PlayStation Plus this month.
Wow. Those are good games, right? Have you ever played PUBG or much of it?
I've played it like once or twice and got killed immediately. I never really made any progress in it.
Yeah, I did okay back in the day, but I haven't played it for a long time.
Yeah, that's me. It was new when I played it, and it's just like, hey, check out this new thing. It was before I even played like Fortnite. Like it was like when PUBG was the OG battle royale, you know.
Yeah, it was the one, right?
Yeah. But also some sales on the PlayStation platform this week. Dreams, 25% off at $30. Absolutely must-have title now. Pixel Rip 1989 and Thumper, two great titles, $6 each.
Wow, that's good, man. For $42, you get three great games. Are you going to go into Dreams a lot more since you I mean, it'd be a great time to go in since you got a couple weeks without VR, right?
Yeah, I got to imagine I'm going to be wearing Dreams out like completely. But I mean, there's other stuff in my PlayStation library that I haven't even touched, like games that I bought months ago and never touched.
Yeah, it's perfect chance.
It's going to be a good time. I'm going to play Daracene, which I always thought looked cool, like a fantasy style game. Waited till it went on sale, got it finally after forever. It went on sale, never played it. I've got Unearthing Mars 2, which supports the Move controller, the aim controller on PlayStation. Definitely going to play through that. And yeah, and then again, we had the Iron Man update. And then there's Gollum, which I played a good amount of for like 2 weeks and then quit playing it. So I got plenty of stuff ahead of me, plenty of nice, good games to play.
Yeah, that's good.
For those of you out there who have PlayStation VR, maybe you're new to PlayStation VR and have never played Resident Evil 7. Well, guess what? Resident Evil 7 just got added to PlayStation Now service. It's going to be available on that service through November 30th. And for those of you who don't know, PlayStation Now is kind of like Viveport, but it's PlayStation. So the cool thing is, Roots, they have a 7-day free trial. You can use their service for free. So you could technically, sign up for the free trial, download Resident Evil 7, and now you've got a week to play it as much as you can. And then at that point, you can subscribe. It's like $10 a month or something like that, or you can just cancel.
Wow, that's good. Good way to try it, right? Actually, it seems like a lot of companies are going that route, right? Where you have like, these are the games, you pay a service and you can download whatever games you want to play. They know that most people are going to play 1 or 2 or maybe 3 of them. And I mean, it's actually a good way for them to make money and offer a lot of games to people.
Yeah, but the ones that are successful at it are the ones that have it underpriced. I don't know how Viveport or Microsoft make any money. They barely charge any for it.
Yeah, they're making, well, I'll tell you what, I don't know how Viveport works their magic, or Vive in general. I think Job's home. But no, I don't know how they make money. Like, I mean, really, if like every part of their business model makes no sense. And like, if you look at any other business, you'd say, business is going to go under, but it doesn't. You know, it's
Yeah,
weird.
that HTC CEO, the one just resigned. The new one that replaced him, less than a year later, he resigns.
Yeah, it's probably a lot
He
of
didn't even
pressure.
have a job for a year, and he already stepped down.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you think you're going to go in there and you're like, I'm going to fix it, and you get in there and you're like, man, this place is fucked. I can't fix it. You're like, I'm out of here. I don't know. I'd be surprised if they're making VR in a few years. They can't. You can't hemorrhage money that way, unless it really is a Chinese government company. Then they can do whatever they want. They could just shell money into it forever. So.
Yeah, but the citizens all love Vive there, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They probably do.
Vive number one.
Just like we love Facebook.
Yeah, right. Frank says, "Have I ever tried Cobalt? I have not, man. It actually looks pretty cool. I've watched bits and pieces of other people playing it, but it looks spooky, and I think that's a free one if I'm not mistaken, or at least it was for a while."
Yeah, I remember hearing about it and stuff, and so I don't know. I'll have to check it out as well. I want to know what this is, Wes. If anybody knows what this, I don't even know if you can see it anywhere besides my OBS, but it looks like weird, man. I don't know if it's a frame second per second thing or what the issue is.
That's what everything looks like after you play Moose Life for 2 hours.
No, I just saw it on the stream. Yes, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man. Everything else is like certain things are getting better on my system, and then other things are weird. I don't know.
Yeah. Epic Game Store, as always, a new flat game for free. Into the Breach. Looks kind of like an old school mech game. But again, free's free, right?
Yeah, yeah. My Epic Games library is filling up pretty nicely. So
yeah,
every week.
Mine's I didn't realize how many I had till I went in there a couple of days ago. I was like, geez, man, got a bunch of games.
Yeah, that's true.
He says it's $8, but goes on sale for $3 quite a bit. Maybe I'm thinking of some kind of a demo or something. Maybe there was a prelude. I don't know. I know what you're talking about. It's like a horror game, but I haven't checked it out.
We might have. Well, I don't right now because I need to rehook up to everybody's accounts. But it might. One of the other guys might have it already. I could have sworn I've seen it in our library. So.
Oh yeah, it probably is in there. Oculus Quest Store. The daily deal is Iron Lights. So for those of you Quest players out there, Iron Lights, of course, a turn-based dueling game, a very interesting looking game. 20% off, $17. But the real deal, as usual on the Quest Store, is in the bundles, and this one's a pretty cool one here, Roots. This is called the Play with Friends bundle or something like that, to that effect. And you get Drop Dead Dual Strike Edition, which is this really cool looking arcade style zombie shooter.
Mm-hmm.
You also get Racket NX, which is about to get a huge update. We reported on that a few weeks ago. 2 titles, $24, and both titles are cross-buy titles.
Wow.
So not only do you get them on Quest, but you can get them on Rift as well, and they're cross-play as well. So you Quest players play with Rift players play with Quest players. $24, 2 really solid games. That's a good deal.
Yeah, that is a good deal. Dead Effect 2 is a good game, co-op game, Scion. It's like 3 or 4 people, and I don't know if it's on sale or not, but I don't know if you've tried that.
Just wait about 3 minutes and you'll find out.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess maybe it's on sale on Wes's list. So
maybe. The suspense is killing me. Anyway, also on the Oculus Quest Store, Job Simulator, Vacation Simulator, Roots, $35. Vacation Simulator getting free update this week, or maybe it's paid update. I think it's a free update. It's getting DLC nevertheless. that's going to make Vacation Simulator play like Job Simulator.
Oh, really? So what's the difference? Like what? How does it not play like Job Simulator? I know
Well,
that.
a job simulator, you're at work, you're standing still, you're doing the jobs, you're helping the robots out. Vacation simulator, you're on vacation, you're moving all around, trying to fulfill these quests and tasks. Vacation simulator, a lot better game than job simulator, in my opinion.
It is.
But
They didn't include that. They make it sound like that's a good deal, $35. Like they didn't include the cost of your TV when you smash it throwing a fish. That it
that
gets a
is
little bit
true.
more
That's
expensive,
true.
right?
Made it a lot more expensive,
Mm,
honestly.
yeah.
I'm
But you
going to
know,
find out if this is paid DLC or not. Give me just a second. What it is, it's called Back to Job. And basically, you're still in the vacation simulator world there, all those little areas. But now you're working at these places, these vacation destinations. You're behind the counter,
mm,
so you're doing jobs like you would do on Job Simulator, and it is free. It's a free expansion.
oh, okay. That works.
Yep.
Cool.
So September 10th, 4 more days is going to see that. And for those of you out there who own these on Quest or don't own these on Quest, you can get both titles for $35, which is a pretty significant discount when you consider how much both of them cost.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely that's a good deal.
Yep. All right. What have we on Oculus Rift Store? Well, we've got Until You Fall, $12. Pretty good title and a really good price for it.
Yeah, that was on sale last week too, right? Or maybe I'm just remembering reading the notes this week, but that is a good game. $12. Can't beat it.
I might have put it on last week. I don't know. It's very possible. It's hard to keep up with it sometimes.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Uh,
it's on sale for a long time, right? So that's good.
Down the Rabbit Hole, $16. Another solid one, and I think that one's cross buy as well.
That one was what, $30 on release, or that's what the normal price, or is it $20?
I think it's $20.
Okay, yeah, $16 is definitely worth that for sure. I like that game.
I Am Roots says I played with two people at once before. You know who else has played with two people at once before, Roots?
Oh, she's very busy, dude.
Indeed, indeed. All right, so we move on to Steam, and a solid bundle on Steam, Roots, called the Dead Tech Bundle, and it gives you Dead Effect 2 plus A-Tech Cybernetic,
Hmm.
which a lot of people are claiming A-Tech Cybernetic's better than Doom VFR. $14 for the bundle.
Wow, that is a good
Yeah.
deal. I'll tell you what, like Dead Effect 2 is very good VR. It's got a really good story, a lot of upgrading. It's, I mean, you got all, I mean, it's a flat, was it a flat game made into VR, or I don't know. It's just really good. I really enjoy it. So
Yeah, that was one of the ones I was thinking about doing that for the next Money Show, but might be a minute before we do a Money Show. Or actually, I guess we could play a cross plat and do it that way.
the one we were talking about is cross-platform.
That is true.
Yeah, and we still need to go into it. So
hmm that's you're exactly right. That's probably what we'll do. Dead Effect 2, if you want to get it standalone, is I think it's like $8. But if you're going to do that already, why not just pay 14 and get A-Tech Cybernetic with it?
yeah, it's
That
definitely,
I asked you.
it's definitely both
Uh,
were good games for sure.
mhm. Assetto Corsa, a staple for racing sim fans everywhere. $5, Roots, and that was the one I put down because that's the one everybody loves. But all of them, every edition of Assetto Corsa is on its own pretty good sale right now. But $5 for the original, I mean, that's pretty damn cheap.
Yeah, see, I was asking this the other day in the Discord. I don't know. I always get torn comments from people like, which one is the best one out there for racing sims? Is it Assetto Corsa? Is it Project Cars, Dirt Rally? Um, I don't know.
Everybody has their favorite. I'll tell you, having not played any of them, which one appeals the most to me, which one looks the funnest to play, that's Dirt Rally, and it's hands down Dirt Rally. The other two, they look okay, sim like. Dirt Rally looks like freaking chaos, man.
What about the guy in there though? You don't care about him yelling at you?
You need that guy.
He's your friend. Why do you hate him, Roots?
He's just trying to help, man.
Yeah, like why are you so hard on him? Crazy.
Yeah. And that brings us, of course, to Viveport. We don't have the usual 2 Infinity titles this week, Roots, but we do have the Venice Film Festival. Like I mentioned to you earlier, Chris Richardson said he just put 22 items in his shopping cart, Roots.
Holy shit.
From the Venice. Yeah, there's a bunch of it, dude. Seriously.
Yeah.
So be sure to check that out. There's also free demos of the Room VR. There's demo of Down the Rabbit Hole. Lots of stuff for free on there. So you guys be sure to go claim that while you still can. And for the record, I did check the copy of the Museum of Other Realities that I checked out with during that other film festival. Still own it in my library. So you do get to keep this stuff.
Nice. Yeah. That works, right? Now let me ask you this, Wes, and I'm sure your answer is going to be the same as mine. Did you check out the Burning Man yet?
No.
No, yeah, me neither.
I did not. I don't think I can now. I don't think I'll be able to do that. I don't think my PC will run Somnium Space.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just SOL this time.
It's all right. I'll be SOL with you, even though knowing that I still have the chance to do it. I won't end up doing it. Like, I need
somebody like on the Discord said that they were, or maybe it was even in the chat, said that they were going into Burning Man in alt space, and I was wondering if they were actually talking about the Somnium Space Burning Man, or is alt space doing a different thing?
That's kind of curious.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Anyway, we did get another title on Viveport, though, and maybe it was on there before. Again, I don't always catch these things, but I think it's a new release, Sky Sanctuary. I know that it's newly out of early access. It's on full release now, Sky Sanctuary. This is a collection of minigames, but it isn't like it isn't all stationary. You can explore. There's a group of islands. You're a samurai. And you're learning skills, Roots. You're learning your samurai skills at this dojo. And it's very colorful looking. It looks pretty fun, actually.
Oh, cool. And it's free on Viveport, huh? Infinity.
Yeah. It is part of Viveport Infinity as of the 4th.
God, dude. You know what I just hit me, Wes? That you said you're going to could have your headset in 2.5, 3 weeks. And you might
my card. I'll have my card in 2.5, 3 weeks.
Or your card or whatever, but you might not be able to play Onslaught. And then that tells me we're like right on the edge of Onslaught, dude. Like I want to play it now.
Yeah. No. The thing is, that I think I might have the Onslaught releases before I might have my card. That's the problem.
Yeah, but that's a good thing. I mean, not for you, but for all of us Onslaught fans, because you'll be. You'll be playing.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's going to be a great game. But yeah, that's the big thing. That's the big thing to look forward to in September is the Walking Dead Onslaught.
Man.
Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out exactly what the release date is here on it.
Yeah, Burning Man is in alt space, Spry Guy says, and I just saw a couple different articles.
I bet it's a different thing.
I checked out Secret Burning Man Party in alt space.
Well, crazy. There you go. September 29th. So no, I should have my card before then.
Yeah, 23 days, 3 weeks.
Dude, we're gonna get Onslaught and Star Wars within a week.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
What if Medal of Honor dropped at the same time?
Dude, we'd be so screwed.
Yeah. It'd be a good screw though. You know who else likes a good screw?
You beat me to it. All right. With that, friends, we are going to wrap it up and come to our final reminder here, and that is how you can support our channel. Of course, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and clicking that notification bell to stay up with all of our content. Of course, for those of you who have been on the channel a little bit longer and would like to do a little something more to contribute, you can do so by supporting us on Patreon, where for as little as $3 per month, you can gain access not only to our weekly show notes early most of the time, uh, but you also get access to the Money Show, which is it's it's monthly, I would say. We put about one out a month, and what we do is Roots and I we play a co-op game together, but we don't just jibber jabber. We talk about the issues of the day, much like we have here today on this program, all the while slaying zombies or what have you. Shooting pool in the rain with golf clubs. We tried that once.
Yeah.
All sorts of things we do in the Money Show, right, Roots?
Yeah, it gives us an excuse to get into some multiplayer
Yeah.
and talk about VR. So
Yeah, we did Minecraft the last time, right?
yeah, that was fun. I got to show
It was
Wes
fun.
Minecraft and my server. So
Hey, I'm going to be able to ray trace that soon.
hey, you could actually go on the server. Can't well, they don't have it for Quest, do they? You are going to be able to ray trace it very soon. They don't have
Absolutely.
it for Quest yet, do they? VR.
No, but it is still heavily rumored for Quest, so I'd be surprised if they didn't announce it.
Yeah.
But actually, more likely to be announced for PlayStation first, though, because we happen to know for a fact that the PlayStation version was in development and is now completed development. It's done. They're just waiting on to announce it.
Oh wow, well that's cool, man. That's a huge one. People have been bitching about that for years.
That's why I'm so sketch about what Sony's doing because we've known this for 4 to 6 weeks now, that they're still just mum on Resident Evil, they're mum on Minecraft. They're saving up the VR stuff for an announcement.
Hmm.
And my question is, what are they holding back? What are they going to announce? Are they going to give us a peek at the new hardware, say coming next year? Or are they going to release something now, like available for Christmas? Who knows? But they are definitely holding something back. And I'll just submit this, Roots. October, PSVR's birthday.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people they literally would go to the grave saying there is no way that PlayStation VR 2 is dropping or 1.5 or whatever it is at the same time as the console, and I don't see why it can't happen. I mean, I understand not everybody can afford it, and not everybody's going to run out and get it, but not everybody has to, and they need to compete like that. Once that kit drops, they now are legitimate competitors with every VR platform out there, and maybe even having a leg up for a bit, where they haven't had that for since launch. Their titles have always been the best or some of the best, but they've been held back by tracking and controllers, and it has to happen. So
Yeah, I don't think that we would see a full blown PSVR 2 this year, but I do think it's entirely possible that we could see a refresh. We could see a PSVR Pro with slightly better visuals in the headset. We already know that there's a new camera that probably will give slightly better tracking, and then new move controllers. That would be the big one: move controllers with thumbsticks on them. I think that they could very well do that. They could release that at the same price point as the stuff that's on the shelf right now, and just replace it like the Rift S did, the original Rift. And then they're not asking anybody to do anything extra. They're just refreshing their hardware. That way, that gives them another, 2 years before they have to actually release the next gen PSVR.
yeah, yeah, and it could have it could be a hybrid. I mean, who knows? For all we know, they could have built-in tracking into the headset that utilizes the other camera to give you full 360. That'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they could do anything they want. I do think that it's very possible, though, that we get some huge title announcements in October. I do think that they're going to give us some idea of what to expect from VR on PlayStation 5, and I think that if we get any new hardware, I think that we might get new move controllers because they know they need new move controllers, and it's kind of weird uh, with the Hitman devs kind of beating around the bush when you try to talk to them about Move controllers. They won't deny it, but they just they act weird when people talk to them about it. So maybe they know something that we don't know.
Like they're under an NDA or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We know what that's like, right?
Yeah,
You can't
we
really
do.
talk about shit.
Yeah, you can't talk about it at all.
People talking about swinging around on Jupiter God and, you know. Anyway, you too can join this conversation. Just because the show ends doesn't mean that the Jupiter God, Jupiter God,
It's on your brain,
just
dude.
because the show ends does not mean that the discussion has to end. Of course, you can scroll down to the description below and find an invitation to our Discord. All the good folks that you see in the chat right there generally hang out in that Discord. And anytime any little piece of news drops, we pick it up and we talk about it. So join the Discord, join the community, join the conversation.
Join now.
With that said, friends, we would like to thank you once again for watching. And for Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you tomorrow, friends.